banter between the co-hosts had been replaced by careful, guarded conversations behind closed doors. It was as if the show was walking on eggshells, with everyone conscious that one wrong move could trigger an even bigger fallout. Rumors started circulating about a looming lawsuit that could change everything. It wasn't just another routine complaint or a minor legal skirmish. No, this lawsuit was different. The plaintiff, believed to be a high-profile individual with a reputation for aggressively defending their image, was not someone who could be easily bought off or silenced. What made this situation even more precarious was that the person behind the lawsuit had powerful connections in both corporate and political circles, making the stakes even higher. The first hint of what was to come occurred when Sunny Hostin, known for her forthright commentary and willingness to speak her mind, made an on-air remark that would set everything in motion. At first, it appeared to be just another spirited debate, a hallmark of The View. Sunny and her fellow co-hosts took their seats, ready to dive into the day's controversial topic. But when the conversation took a sharp turn toward one particular public figure, things escalated quickly. Sunny, as she often did, didn't hold back. Her commentary was pointed, sharp, and relentless, tackling the issue head-on with no filter. The room fell eerily quiet. The usual background hum of the control room stopped dead in its tracks. Some viewers cheered for her boldness, applauding her for calling out perceived wrongs. But others, particularly those with a vested interest in the subject of her critique, weren't as pleased. The target of Sunny's remarks was a figure known for fiercely defending their public image. They didn't take criticism lightly, and they certainly didn't forget when they were called out on live television. What followed in the days after was the stuff of media firestorms. Social media exploded, with both supporters and detractors weighing in on Sunny's words. Some fans hailed her as a hero for speaking truth to power, while others accused her of crossing a line. The controversy grew, gaining traction not only in the world of television, but in the broader public discourse. No one could have predicted what would come next, as the looming lawsuit started to take shape and threaten everything that The View had built over the years. The fallout from Sunny's fiery remarks continued to intensify. While some rallied behind her, praising her for speaking out against what they saw as injustice, others accused her of going too far, questioning the validity of her claims, and accusing her of floating unsubstantiated allegations. Backstage, the shift in mood was palpable. What had once been a lively and carefree environment began to feel fraught with tension and uncertainty. Staff members, who had always been familiar with the show's ebb and flow, started noticing a distinct change in Sunny's demeanor. On one day, she was her usual self, jovial, confident, and quick with a joke. But on the next, she seemed distracted, unable to focus on the day's topics, her usual sharpness replaced with an almost palpable anxiety. It wasn't just Sunny who felt the weight of the situation. Even the other co-hosts started casting furtive glances at each other during segments, as if unsure how to respond to Sunny's growing discomfort. The unspoken question lingered in the air. How much further would this controversy go? What set this particular moment apart from past on-air dramas was the unmistakable presence of legal threats. The whispers that had started in the corridors about the potential lawsuit were no longer rumors. They were beginning to take shape. Sources close to the production team revealed that the high-profile individual Sunny had criticized was preparing to take legal action. This wasn't going to be a small claim. The lawsuit, insiders feared, could be massive, with The View's network, and possibly even Sunny herself, named as defendants. The rumored amount that was being sought was enough to send shockwaves through the network's executives. The View had faced its fair share of lawsuits over the years, but this was different. The figures being discussed were so staggering that even the seasoned legal team at ABC felt the weight of the situation. No one had expected something of this magnitude, and certainly no one had anticipated that the very existence of the View could be at risk. At first, Sunny seemed unfazed. She had dealt with legal threats before and was no stranger to the rough and tumble world of broadcast television. The View had built its reputation on diving headfirst into controversial topics and pushing boundaries, with the assumption that the legal team would keep them in check. But, as the days passed, Sunny's usual calm and resolute demeanor started to crack. The first sign came in the form of an official letter from the alleged plaintiff's legal team. This wasn't a tabloid rumor or a social media buzz. It was a formal communication, delivered directly to ABC. The letter made pointed allegations about defamatory statements aired on The View. Citing specific segments and transcripts, it demanded not only a public retraction, but also the possibility of significant financial compensation. According to network insiders who got a glimpse of the letter, it was clear this was not a mere warning. It was a serious threat. The possibility of a lawsuit with its eye-popping price tag caused a ripple of panic among The View's producers. Emergency meetings were called, and ABC's legal team pored over everything from aired segments to internal communications. They combed through footage, scrutinizing each line for any sign of editorial misstep or potential misrepresentation. Were there any moments when the show had crossed the line? Were there moments where Sunny's passionate remarks had gone too far, especially when discussing unverified allegations? In the world of talk shows, it wasn't uncommon for controversial topics to be accompanied by disclaimers, reminding viewers that the opinions shared were just their cars to the dressing rooms, and reporters called out questions in a frenzy. Outside, the usual calm was replaced by a barrage of scrutiny, and inside, the network's corporate partners began to react with increasing caution. Alarmed by the negative press swirling around the show, major advertisers who had once been eager to associate their brands with The View began to pull back. Campaigns were put on hold, and some companies, longtime sponsors of the show, quietly dropped their support. The loss of these sponsorships was a blow to the show's financial stability, threatening its very lifeblood. Rumors of The View's cancellation began to make the rounds on entertainment blogs. Some staff members held on to hope, insisting that the show had weathered controversies in the past and could do so again. But, as the days stretched on, the executives' reassuring words grew fewer, replaced by a sense of urgency. They met in hurried, late-night sessions, consulting with lawyers, and drafting contingency plans. Staff members, some of whom had worked with the show for years, began to feel a sense of inevitability. The end might be coming, and it felt alarmingly real. At the heart of it all was Sunny Hostin. Initially, she tried to project calm, carrying herself with the same confidence that had earned her a prominent spot on the show. But the chaos swirling around her became increasingly impossible to ignore. As the days wore on, co-workers began to notice the toll this legal drama was taking on her. One day, they saw her pacing near the makeup room, her eyes glassy, as if she were on the brink of tears. Another day, she ducked into a corner of the corridor, speaking softly on her phone, presumably consulting with attorneys or close friends. Even producers, who had admired Sunny's fearless approach to speaking her mind, began to question whether they had overlooked the emotional strain she might have been under. Had they missed the signs that something deeper was at play? As the stakes grew higher and the pressure mounted, it became clear that this wasn't just a legal battle. It was taking a personal toll on everyone involved. And at the center of it all, Sunny was left to navigate the storm she had unintentionally set in motion. Behind the scenes at The View, the tension was palpable. Producers and network executives alike were desperately trying to avoid a complete collapse. ABC's legal department suggested issuing a carefully crafted on-air statement from Sunny Hostin, one that might express regret for any misunderstandings caused by her comments. The hope was that this would help to diffuse the situation, calming the storm of negative attention the show had drawn. But every time the suggestion was brought to Sunny, she hesitated. Part of her believed she had done nothing wrong. She had spoken out to hold a powerful figure accountable, much like The View had done for years with controversial figures. For her, The idea of retracting or softening her statements felt like a betrayal of everything the show had stood for. However, another part of her recognized the reality of the situation, that an apology, whether genuine or forced, might be the fastest way to calm the flames. The trouble was, an apology could also be seen as an admission of liability, exactly what the network's legal team feared would strengthen the plaintiff's case. As the days passed, producers attempted to salvage what remained of the show's credibility and reputation. They met privately with sponsors, hoping to reassure them that ABC was taking the lawsuit seriously and was committed to addressing the concerns raised. But these attempts proved futile. As soon as one major sponsor, a well-known automotive brand, withdrew its backing, others quickly followed suit. The domino effect was swift and unforgiving, draining the show's financial support and leaving it on the brink. Finally, the network took action. ABC released an internal memo announcing that The View would be entering a temporary hiatus while the network worked through the ongoing legal challenges. Though the memo was careful not to use harsher language, it was widely understood as the first step toward winding down the show completely. The studio hallways, once filled with laughter and activity, grew eerily quiet as staff members began clearing out their desks and personal belongings. Many exchanged tearful goodbyes, uncertain of what the future held. Some held out hope that this was just a temporary setback, a brief pause before the show would return. But the veterans of The View, those who had been with the show through thick and thin, suspected that this hiatus was the beginning of the end. Within hours, the news spread like wildfire. The View was officially canceled due to the new lawsuit. Headlines splashed across tabloids and online news outlets, with commentators eagerly dissecting how a single lawsuit had brought down one of daytime TV's most iconic shows. Industry insiders pointed out that The View had been skating on thin ice for some time, courting controversy for the sake of ratings. This time, however, it seemed they had gone too far. Social media exploded with reactions. Some viewers mourned the loss of a platform that, despite its flaws, had given a voice to women and encouraged robust, often heated debates. Others, however, expressed relief at the news, tired of the constant drama and sensationalism. Meanwhile, some fans were particularly vocal in criticizing ABC for not standing by Sunny more forcefully. To them, The View had thrived on boldness and controversy, and they felt the network had abandoned that spirit when the legal trouble started. As for Sunny, she became the focal point of much speculation. Insiders revealed that she had not been present on set the day ABC made its announcement. Some claimed she was holed up in lengthy discussions with ABC's legal team, exploring whether she had any legal recourse, or if she could be personally held liable for the damage caused by her comments. Others suggested that Sunny had gone home, possibly in tears, grappling with guilt over the fallout, and the fact that her actions might have led to so many of her colleagues losing their jobs. The paparazzi soon confirmed that Sunny had been seen leaving the studio that day, her head down, avoiding the cameras. Her downcast expression fueled rumors that she was overwhelmed by the gravity of the situation. It was a far cry from the confident, fearless woman viewers had come to know on television. The network's public statement on The View's cancellation was brief and to the point. It attributed the show's end to a combination of ongoing legal complexities and strategic programming decisions. While the statement refrained from directly blaming Sunny Hostin, the subtext was undeniable. The lawsuit and the controversy that had preceded it had played a pivotal role in the show's demise. The news spread quickly, and major outlets picked up the story, analyzing it from every angle. Where had The View gone wrong? Could the co-hosts have done more to shield themselves from the legal fallout? And, perhaps most pressing, what did Sunny's downfall signal for all talk shows that had relied on provocative claims and bold opinions to generate ratings? In the days that followed, tabloids dove into the more personal aspects of the drama. One article focused on Sunny's final moments on the set of The View, painting a vivid picture of her emotional state as she entered her dressing room. It described her carefully removing personal photographs from the mirror and pausing to look around, clearly distressed. An unverified video taken by a staff member soon went viral. The footage showed Sunny hugging a producer in the hallway, tears streaming down her face. The headline read, "Sunny Hostin's Tearful Goodbye," and it set off a wave of reactions on social media. People were divided. Some scorned her for appearing to play the victim, accusing her of exaggerating her emotions for sympathy. Others, however, empathized, pointing out how easy it was to cross an invisible line when working in the high-pressure world of heated, hot-topic discussions. The public was consumed by the fallout, and the debate over Sunny's role in the show's collapse continued to simmer. Meanwhile, the lawsuit didn't simply vanish with the View's cancellation. It trudged on. ABC's attorneys were left to navigate depositions and negotiations, all aimed at minimizing the damage. The nature of the disputed remarks remained sealed under legal confidentiality, but news outlets speculated that they involved extremely delicate personal allegations, claims that the plaintiff insisted had been broadcast as fact.